You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Alright, so you're wondering, how do I listen to you guys live? How do I check it out? Well, good news, we stream every Wednesday, 9 p.m. over on Twitch. Nerddux, Nerdux, or Nerd to Know Media on YouTube or Twitch. That's how you're going to be able to catch us. Hope to see you in the live chat.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Centre. This is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is we'll do it live. Target's in, target's out. Never miscommunication. It's over 9,000.
My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll. Don't face me, bro. It's a trap. I'm a fire in my evil. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up. Oh, God, oh, man. Oh, my God.
Hey everybody, welcome to Phoenix 92.5 FM. It is Nerd to Know Basis show 101, and boy, do we have a show in store for you today. It is probably the only time we're going to actually do this, where it's going to actually be on target and be on focus. It's going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Simpsons movie. My name is Darryl O'Connor, and I'm joined by...
Hey, it's Brad.
Hey, it's Keane.
Hey, it's Kev.
Hi, it's Lisa from Straight Outta Canto.
You know what's weird? You know what's weird, right? When you get older, you kind of forget your alphabet. And I only know this from referencing when I'm hold on, I'll write this like massive fucking I'll write this massive 6,000 word essay, right? And then I'll come to referencing. I'm like, does K come before L? I don't know.
that is under the assumption that you ever learned it. Which some of us, myself, just never did.
I just find it.
You work in a
confusing.
bookshop,
and it's a wonder I'm still there.
You outrank me and Lisa.
Anyway, how is everybody doing?
Doing good. I've just been messing around with my new Linux OS, which is giving me this wonderful effect where I merge into the back of my wall. And I'm just gearing up for tomorrow because it's my birthday. Yeah.
Send Bryn retroactive happy birthday, folks.
Yeah.
And a new face, because he's disappearing into that sign.
Yeah.
Bryn, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Bryn.
And also harass him for no more tech takeover.
Yeah.
Send hate mail.
Yeah, send hate mail. I deserve it.
Send it straight to the animated world of Springfield. That's where he is now. It is.
If you send it in real life, it'll just phase through his hand, unfortunately.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, guys, again, I want to congratulate you all for the 100 show. It was really fun. I like listening to it. It was good, guys. If you haven't checked it out, go over to Nerd to Know Media right now. Check it out. We're going to stick on target here, and I know it's really hard for me. So there are some
on target.
rules.
Star Wars.
Yeah, literally, this is the first rule. We do not mention
well done,
Star
Lisa.
Wars. We do not mention Doctor Who. We do not mention Avengers. We do not mention Marvel. We do not mention anything until we have finished this, because we'll go through the void and end up where we normally are. So,
what if these things come up in the Simpsons film, though?
That is okay. But we can't.
They won't.
Well, I saw it today.
I saw it today as well. I watched it again today. Okay, so we're gonna try to be good here, guys. This is gonna be a big challenge for us.
Timekeeper. See how long we can stay good.
Absolutely. So again, we have nothing else on the docket, just this. So let's try to be good. So okay, right. I have feelings on this. I watched it today. I watched a couple of months ago, and my feelings on it grew instead of changing. I don't want to get into negativity just yet. So, okay, I know Lisa's really positive on. I know Bryn hates it probably as much as I do. Keen and Kev, where do you guys? Are you guys positive or negative on this?
I'm good. I'll start off because I'd say probably the most lukewarm about it.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want.
The problem I found is trying to articulate enough for content in fine. Especially and actually the one thing I want to kind of, I think actually starting off, it'd be important to kind of get context as to the movie itself, particularly at where it is in kind of Simpsons canon. But I looked it up because I keep forgetting just how late the movie came out in the Simpsons lifetime. So the movie was 2007. The Simpsons was on season 18 by that point. I thought that this was kind of a last hurrah for good. No, they were trying to bring this back as a comeback by the look of things. And so I think, considering we spent so long talking about The Simpsons up until season 9, which is where we stopped.
Season 8.
Season 8, pardon me.
Number 8.
I definitely I think if you take it in the context that where The Simpsons was at that time, yeah, I think it's fine. That's I we can get into it. We're kind of discussing kind of everything about it, but I'm definitely just lukewarm. I probably won't watch it again, but I didn't find it terribly offensive.
That ties in with my point that people don't judge the Simpsons movie on how good it is as a standalone movie. They judge it against their expectations of how bad the Simpsons is going to be, and then go, "Oh, okay."
No.
Okay,
Before we get into that,
Dar, come on, before the negativity train pulls into the station, can I have my say?
That's exactly why I'm trying to move it over.
Well, I mean,
Ian,
I will be honest. I watched it today with the kind of. You shouldn't, but with the attitude of looking for what was wrong with it.
No,
and I found that
you shouldn't watch anything that way unless you're a wrestling fan.
Well, there you go. Timekeeper. What is it? 3 minutes in.
Go on.
Actually, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I say I had a belly laugh every minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, which for season 18 Simpsons is pretty good. The opening itchy and scratchy thing was great. All the characters got at least one memorable moment. There was a few good laughs. And I vividly remember the reviews coming out justifying that for the last 2 seasons of The Simpsons, they were obviously holding over the good jokes for the film, which, as we know, not true. But I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this. It's got the stank of zombie Simpsons coming towards it, and jerk-ass Homer wound me up a bit too much. If that term is known to everyone, but I was surprised by it. As a film script, I felt like you couldn't really remove any bit of it, and I think that's the sign of a good working comedy. There was no fat on it, it's not the South Park film by any means, but most films, to be fair, aren't. So I thought it was quite enjoyable.
Okay.
So I think there's a bunch of ways to look at this. So you can try and look at it as a film in its own right. And I think, for me anyway, re-watching it, I came out kind of pretty lukewarm on it overall. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I definitely felt like it could have been funnier overall. I just felt like a lot of the jokes in it just didn't land overall, which is a problem for a comedy film. And then you can kind of look at it in the context of what the seasons around it were doing, and then kind of gauge quality from there. Or you can compare it to, I think if you compare it to its heyday, you're doing a disservice to it.
Okay, all right. Brennan, I just want to stop you there 1 second, right? Because that's what I want to do. Is I want to bring in Lisa here, because what you're doing there is exactly what she said not to do. Which
I'm saying there's multiple ways you can compare it. The way I compared it when I first watched it, the way I compared it when I first watched it was I was going, well, is it going to be funnier than the Family Guy movie? Okay. It wasn't. Was it going to be funnier than the South Park movie? It wasn't. Okay. that's kind
Can
of
I just
how
ask,
I.
which one is the is that the one where Stewie meets his future self?
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Is
Okay.
that
Well,
the only. It actually quite just okay. Not to derail this immediately.
Oh, by all means.
no, not
Was
by
that-
all means.
was that the only one,
I'm
or
actually
was
going to
it-
be strict here. I'm gonna be strict.
Okay. Just on that Family Guy, was that the only one, or did Family Guy have like extended?
It had extended episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, they were never
Right.
movies,
Which
though.
was also the other thing I kind of thought of when I was watching this, is that it's such a weird outlier, and I'm surprised The Simpsons didn't tap into it more.
Yeah. You
Like,
see, the thing is,
longer extended specials. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
not to bring it back to the movie.
I think the thing is with that, I have a point that I think what they did with the content of the movie, basing it on the environmental thing, was a bit preachy, and as well the fact that they base it on Under the Dome by Stephen King. I think that was a topic at the time that didn't age well, and I think if they had done like Family Guy or even South Park, and basically like the South Park movie is basically just one long South Park episode. Family Guy movie is one long episode with a musical thrown in. Like, I think The Simpsons, instead of doing this bombastic, bizarre, weird thing, they should have either gone completely far out and done something really wild, like go into space or something, or done something
Really
bring
small.
back Scorpio, or an episode about like a really long movie about maybe Ned's Vegas wives come back, that kind of thing. So,
Okay. Great points. Really good points. But, and the thing about it is, it's funny you mentioned this because I actually watched a bunch of episodes before and after it. So we will touch on those.
Because you like suffering.
No, before I do that though, Lisa, I want to give you the floor here to spell out the appeal of this movie. And you know, this isn't setting you up. This is literally like, I just want to know somebody who actually like enjoys, because it will make sense when I give my thoughts on it. But go for it. Go on.
Okay, so I enjoyed it because it's basically kind of like disbelief suspension. I took it at face value. Because I remember when I saw it when it first came out, I was like, that's rubbish. I don't like that. But then years later, we watch it regularly around Christmas time. And we even watch it over Easter sometimes. We'll throw it on because it's like light, fluffy content. It's not particularly challenging or threatening. It's enjoyable. There, like Cian said, there are belly laughs and we take it at face value. And like I've been saying, you're not judging it as, is this a good movie? If you took, say, the brand of The Simpsons out of it and there was just a random movie about the stuff happening in it, wouldn't work as a movie at all. Only makes sense within the context of The Simpsons. And I don't like Homer in it. I think there's a lot of very uncomfortable things in it with Homer and Marge, Homer and Bart, stuff like that. There's still laughs in it.
Kissing the pig.
Hey, you leave Spider Pig alone. The love between a man and his pig is pure. But then it is also
he's Barry Trotter or Barry Trotter.
Oh, Barry Plopper.
Barry Plopper. That was.
Yeah, and it's just like, I think you're looking at it now. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it from the context of the episodes surrounding it or its heyday, but I am saying when they think about the Simpsons movie, they're not judging it on whether it's a good movie as its own, because as we just established, it wouldn't work as a movie on its own. You're judging it on how bad this could have been and how much better in your expectations than it actually is.
Do we have like a reverse star system? Like,
yeah, it's almost like I thought this was going to be so bad compared to how bad I thought it was going to be. It was actually okay. It will never be as good as what it could be. But, you know, for what we could have had, this is tolerable. It's mildly enjoyable. It's a bit of a laugh.
The Watchmen defense then. It's like, so much worse.
whoa. Let's not get to that's a whole other thing.
That's the next episode.
Zach can do nothing wrong, okay? Leave Zach alone.
And the next 4 episodes after that.
Zach can do a little wrong.
It's also the Lord of the Rings defense, by the way.
Okay,
you know,
all right.
This could have been so much worse.
Okay, time, people, time.
Okay, whoa. Let's bring it back. Bryn, can you turn yourself down a tiny bit there?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Thank you very much. All right.
Oh, he's complete. Don't move, Bryn. Your face is back.
There you go. He's back. He turned the volume down and it fixed him. Okay.
Too loud for 3 dimensions.
Lisa
stumbled into the second dimension.
Lisa, that makes an awful lot of sense. And what you said, I do think it's like, I think it's probably the most. It's extremely generous. It sounds a bit Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome, yeah.
A little bit. But I do appreciate where you're coming from, and you know what, I was watching it with the same way in mind. I actually agree more with you than I agree with any of the other guys. And the reason why is because there is actually a fantastic 30 minutes in this movie.
That's an hour and a half.
And I
say this, and I'm on Lisa's side.
I'm on Lisa's side too.
I thought you were team negativity.
No. The half an hour that's in it is amazing, right? And there actually are a bunch of belly laughs in it, and there's some really good jokes. Like some of my favorite Simpson jokes outside of the golden era are in this. I and some of the stupid ones as well. I love the one, where they're drawing the car, they're going through they're getting gas, and Bart does the sketch and then they arrest them. That's hilarious. I love the rock in a hard place, and it's literally like a bar called the hard place. There's stuff like that that's really clever, and I really appreciate it. But then, you know what it is? It's the same with there's a bunch of movies like this. Captain America: The First One's the same for me, where it dies in the middle. This movie just dies in the middle.
Well, I think if we can kind of get into it, definitely my biggest problem.
Okay, so
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right. So here's what we're going to do, right? Because again, we're gonna properly dive into this and do it properly. And this is really hard for us because this isn't a show that follows a format. So we're trying. We're trying. Okay, so this movie was released in 2006. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, it was released in 2000. A shot of 2006, released in 2007. It's the highest grossing film of 2007.
Really?
It came out on July the 21st and first premiered in Springfield, Vermont. It's the second highest grossing traditionally animated film behind Disney's Lion King, and also the highest grossing film based on a television series. This is also up for a bunch of awards, and apparently the second film is in development as of 2018. So it is apparently it's happening. Now, this movie's budget was 75 million. Guess how much it made?
400.
Close.
Million.
536.4 million.
Well, see, this is like
massive success, gangbusters.
Oh, I'm sure, but I mean, to some degree, you can't assess it monetarily because you could slap Simpsons on anything and it'll sell even today.
But still, it's still good to have that kind of concept.
That's true. That's true. So, I remember people getting excited about it when it came out and everything.
Oh, absolutely. So let's just quickly run through the plot, and then we'll kind of break it down. So basically, what happens is Lake Springfield is polluted. Green Day die. And then they're trying to clean it up. There's a whole big push to clean up Springfield, and Lake Springfield is walled off. Homer ends up dropping a silo of pig poo into it, and then the whole thing basically explodes, and Springfield is quarantined by US President Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which is okay. And then basically they find out that Homer's the reason for it, and they have to leave and flee to Alaska. While in Alaska, they find out that the Grand Canyon, there's going to be a new Grand Canyon, which is by blowing up Springfield, because Springfield at this point is quarantined inside of a dome. And
no one else in the world knows this is happening.
Absolutely. And then this basically the family leave Homer because he's so selfish. And then through a shamanic journey, Homer has a epiphany where he must save his family. He comes home, and they're going to blow up Springfield. They do not. Homer saves the day, and that's kind of it.
That's for a movie that diverts into weird tangents. That was a pretty good summary, Dar. Well done.
Thank you. See, that's it. If it had just been that tight story, that really nice tight episode, that would have been fantastic. The problem is, we're going to get into it. It's that it just doesn't know where to cut. No one kind of this is like the episode 1 problem, the prequels problem in general, where it's like no one said no. No one was like, this isn't going to work.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the behind the scenes stuff this early on, but I had a look at the credits because I'm not as good on what era and how it works and all that. But I did notice just from our episodes talking about it that the writing team, there was about 10 or 11 of them, and they were some of them were from the 90s and some of them were from the 2000s. So the golden age and the kind of not zombie, but kind of sliding into that. Was this in development for a long, long time? Yeah,
so this started development in 2001.
Right, that makes sense.
So so in 2001, the producers got together. The writing team was Brooks, Groening, Gene, Scully.
Oh, Groening was actually involved with this. I thought he left in like the mid 90s.
Well, no, he was involved in the film.
Right. Okay.
And then there was George Meyer, Dave Merkin, Mike Reese, Matt Sabin, and basically, like that entire team of 2001 were involved, and then obviously they were kind of still working on the show as well, so it grew out. Okay, so let's kind of get into it. The movie opens with a Green Day concert, which I don't know, Lisa.
I like Green Day. I like The Simpsons. I don't necessarily like them together. It was a bit
Lisa,
random.
As the known Green Day expert of the podcast.
No, it's
how you must introduce
correspondent.
yourself each and every time, Kev.
it's just
I am Billy Joe's personal PA.
it's just this is one of the things that I would have been like, cut that completely because this is garbage. Don't get me wrong, I liked American Idiot. I thought it was a fun album, and Dookie was good too, and you know that. But I'm like, oh, really? Okay, we're gonna age it. That like it's not like Metallica or The Who or sort of, you know, some kind of timeless band that will stand the test of time. Green Day don't. And
well, American Idiot does.
Now,
yeah,
Oh my God, no! Green Day are icons. They really
are
are.
icons.
Well,
and I am definitely looking forward to that gig. But anyway,
Yeah.
hold on. Well, what
No,
I'm saying, the
I
reason
think
why I say it is it dates itself immediately.
Because it's from the height of
Yeah.
Green Day's popularity.
Exactly.
An American Idiot and
that's
Bush and everything.
Yeah, it's not like they were just, you know, they were past it and then they showed up as like a cool reference. They literally, when they're in that movie, they're at their height of their preaching. They're at their height of their, well, they kind of stopped once Obama came in, which most punk bands did for some reason. But anyway, that's a different thing.
I hear you, Darren. They should have got Devo to come in to do the theme song.
No, what they should have,
you know.
No, what they should have done is they should have got something that doesn't age it so in its time, and that's the problem. It feels of its time.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
That was a problem. That's a
Immediately.
problem that kind of was rampant in Simpsons past.
Absolutely.
Was
Absolutely.
just getting celebrity cameos because they were.
They were.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing.
Whether or not they're even good cameos.
You know what would have been fun? Go with me here for a second. A band that exists in Springfield who are basically Green Day doing the same thing.
Spinal Tap.
Well, Spinal Tap were a real band too, but actually Spinal Tap coming back would have been fun. And this kind of ties into what Lisa
Get the
was
B
saying.
sharps.
Yeah.
You know, bring it back established characters.
Yes.
Spinal Tap could have filled that role really well.
Really well.
Hank Scorpio could have come back to play Hank Scorpio.
God. Hank Scorpio was in the Simpsons movie as a completely different character. And I'm not just saying Brooks should only play supervillains, but I'm like, when you have someone with who's such a talent and has such an expressive and distinctive voice as Brooks, and to just give him a script and a role that is that weak and shoddy. Like, have any of you watched any of the extra features on this? There's a load of extra features that were cut of Brooks's characters, and there's a reason they're cut. They're awful. His animation isn't even good. He's all wibbly wobbly looking in it. It's so weird. It's so sad.
But here's another one as well. On that point, right? Rainier Wolfcastle isn't in the movie.
President Schwarzenegger, yeah.
It makes no sense. It's like, it doesn't like,
which is another 2000
it made sense
thing,
at the time. Yeah, it made sense at the time.
But it doesn't feel like The Simpsons. You know,
can I actually defend the Green Day thing for a minute?
No.
Like the first,
no, you can't. I only messed. Of course you can.
No, it's I actually really like that first 10 minutes of the film because, like the kind of the Homer lampshades before the opening credits, you have to, and I think this is where this has the edge over the Family Guy film. You have to justify that this is a film. Do you know what I mean? And I think the itchy and scratchy opening with like the weird, like kind of presidential scandal on the moon thing, as well as like them being in the cinema, the kind of the amped up 2000s-y Simpsons intro and the sort of grandpa's like big catastrophe prophecy thing. I think that whole stretch does give the film a sense of epicness and scale. Yeah. That if you had toned it down, with much as I love sort of the B sharps and all that, it needs to feel like an event, like it's the last episode or something bigger. And if you had it something more like an in-joke, that stretch up until the dome would have just felt like a Simpsons episode. Do you know what I mean?
You see, like,
I said that like that's a bad thing, though. Like,
a 2007 Simpsons.
Well,
episode.
okay, all right, okay. Look, and this is where we start fleshing it out. I swear I'm not doing production notes on the air. I'm trying to do this. So look, I actually went through I didn't go through all of them, so I just started to kind of get a feel for what the last couple of episodes were in season 16. So the two seasons were season 16 and season 17. So season 17 was going on at the same time.
So for normies like me, what are kind of the big events happening in series 16 and 17?
Sorry, 18 and 19. Sorry.
My apologies, but kind of what I'm assuming we're post like Vegas Wives, like is Maud Flanders dead? Where are we in time?
Okay, so in season 18, it actually opens. Well, not opens, but their episode 2 has the death of one of Homer's Vegas wife.
Oh yeah, she always wanted to learn computers.
Exactly. Computers, yeah, and it's a really good one where he's drumming, and it's actually like really good. It's a really good show. You know what? Season 18 is quite good. It's quite good. Season 19 is okay. It's not great, but season 17 has the manatees.
Oh, sugar!
I like the manatees, but anyway.
But that started in 2005.
I envy you.
That started in 2005. So a lot of when this was being written would have been like, well, development, that kind of stuff. 2006. So, season 17 is not great. I would say if it had been like that, I would have just been like, no way. It doesn't feel as good as season 18, but season 18 is quite good. And this is when the show starts to pick up again. So, we definitely dodged a bullet. In that sense, because it could have been as the lowest of low. I know you're a fan of it, Lisa. I think you just love all Simpsons, which I admire.
I do. I don't overthink it. I just take it at face value. I won't watch any of the new episodes because they're not good.
That's not true.
Oh, I was wondering when this bombshell will drop in.
See, this is funny. You're willing to defend the manatees, but you won't watch.
I thought they were cute. I thought it was good, but then shortly afterwards, it stops being good. And then
but
I
on
stopped
creative
watching.
merits, The Simpsons didn't put any work into making manatees cute in general.
Well, here's one for you, right? In season 17.
Okay.
There is one of the best episodes of The Simpsons in the entire run, right? In the entire run. It's the Italian Bob, right? And that's the one where they go to Italy.
Okay, I wouldn't give it that much praise, but it's definitely good.
Vendetta, follow me, Papi. I don't like that one, but anyway. Sorry.
No.
I want to hear why. What's your beef?
Oh, I just don't think it was great. I think Sideshow Bob had his heyday.
Yeah,
and I don't think taking them to Italy was. I just didn't like them going to Italy. I just thought, I want to see Springfield. I don't want to see, Rugrats in Paris. I'm done.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, well, you know what?
Hold on a second. Let's not smack talk Rugrats in Paris.
Okay, no, I take that back. No, I love Rugrats in Paris. That's iconic.
But here's what I was going to say. That feels more like a Simpsons movie.
Right.
Than the Simpsons movie. Because think about it. It exists kind of in this weird thing where, like, did that actually happen, or was that kind of weird? And it feels like, as Bryn said, with the to be fair, it's probably what Family Guy would have done, and he did kind of do it. It's what South Park did with their kind of stuff, where they took an episode concept and kind of grew it out. And I think the problem with the Simpsons movie is it picked different concepts that don't really kind of fit together. Like the EPA thing fits together with the dome thing very loosely, and it all comes together nicely at the end, but its journey is so all over the place. Like, when you go for me again, like if they had you could cut out the entire Alaska thing and you would be in good shape.
I'll actually step up and defend the Alaska thing.
Okay,
even though I don't find the Spirit Lady thing good, apart from like on an animation level. Yeah. But I think if you were to, because I know as tempting as it is to bring Hank Scorpio in and stuff, this needs to be, from a marketing standpoint, this needs to be a story that people can just get, even if they haven't seen the Simpsons in a few years. And I think the best way to do that is to make Springfield itself a character in the story and put it in peril, because that's what the Simpsons is. So I do think for something with these stakes, it was a good idea to put Springfield personally in peril and take The Simpsons out of it, because again, it's all about scale. Like if it had like, you know, I think you would run the risk of like alienating fans if Springfield's relevance wasn't kind of involved. But equally, if it was just in Springfield, it would just feel like an episode. So but I understand why they went the way they did. Do you know what I mean?
I understand it too. I think it sucks because like Springfield doesn't get showcased here.
Do you not think so? No,
no, it doesn't. The house doesn't get showcased either. Like,
the house gets destroyed. That's
exactly.
No, that's what I mean though. That's pretty like, you know.
But
stuff's hitting the fan, like, you know.
It doesn't feel like it happened. This whole movie has no. Like, I know Dr. Nick dies.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, until he doesn't.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, there's no
sense of home or location.
Yeah, but also consequence.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I know Simpsons has a floating timeline and it sets, but the thing about the Family Guy movie is it still sets up right. Well, that happened and they learned from it and everyone grew and they moved on. The South Park movie was really important in the sense of what it set up, and you know, it was kind of like South Park resets its continuity every time, and
except when it doesn't.
Well, no, it does for a time being, but I mean, like after the South Park movie, when you were watching South Park, you're like, right, this happened after the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
With this, you're like, and I did it specifically. I was like, right, let's watch. Because you can't really start at the season because it dropped in July, right? So, so technically, you'd have to go maybe to 19 to start watching because the season starts in September. So, where does this happen? So, does the show pick up in season 19, episode 401, after the movie, or in season 18? And it's this weird kind of sense in time where you're like, right, what's going on?
Well, can I? Actually, I might have to cite Kev here.
Actually, one second. You know, what would have been good. 1 second.
Time.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second before you jump in. Future episode. That could have been a way around it. But anyway.
Yeah, they've done too many future episodes, I think.
Yeah, even then, there've been a lot.
Sorry, go for it.
Justifying its place in time, I think they made the right decision putting this where it was, because like Kev recently loaned me like the My Hero Academia film, and those, like a lot of anime films, by virtue of like, you know, coming out at random times and being shown across the world in different times, it is understood that they are relatively continuity-less. There is an understanding that it's going to be a bubble thing. It's going to be enjoyable or possibly not on its own merits. And to put it anywhere in a kind of timeline would kind of make it needlessly confusing, both for people who may have missed earlier episodes and indeed for people who may not have seen it, who there's just suddenly this big gap. South Park gets away with it, but that's because South Park is kind of weird and shocking on purpose. So I don't think they'd kind of care about that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, well, see, South Park, in a way, I do understand what you're saying, and you are correct. You're not wrong, right?
I'm sensing the butt.
Now, let me tell you why you're wrong.
Anything anyone says before a but is a lie.
I know, but in all fairness, you are right, and I do understand where you're coming from. The thing about it is, South Park is South Park.
Yes.
As I said, it resets its continuity around its big events. Now, we saw that to its detriment with Mr. Garrison going off to be president. They really messed up, and then he had to reset the continuity again to get out.
Is he not president anymore?
Well, he is, but they're just not talking about it.
Oh, okay, I thought he wasn't anymore.
Well, he might.
No, he's not president. He went back to being a school teacher.
Yeah, that was what I understood, and I was like, oh, I am not even going to try and work that out in my mind.
You know what I mean? They just basically dropped it and went back. Yeah. They just whatever. They just dropped it.
The key point on it is that it wasn't funny. So
yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Funny. So with this, but anytime they've done big events, they've always reset back to a new standard, and you can pick it up. Like the whole Tegrity Farms thing is their current standard, right? For better or worse, I know, but it's their standard, right? Anything Family Guy doesn't matter because it's Family Guy. It's understood. American Dad actually has some sense of wait, and stuff happens, And
I'll stand by American Dad. I think that's
American
the strongest of those.
Such a good show.
It's such a good show. But because stuff matters, like stuff happens and it makes sense.
With The Simpsons, though, The Simpsons was always like, it was playing pastiche, but it always was a status quo sitcom.
Yeah,
to Keane's point as well, like, yeah, like, I love the fact that you compare it to a filler movie. That's ace. I love that.
But it is. But no, it is a filler movie. It really is.
It is in a way, and as well, like, as you said, it earned 500 million. Like, this is simply meant to be it's pretty much designed to be a showcase of The Simpsons. And whether it achieved itself as a showcase, that's to be seen critically. But that's kind of the design of it. It is a Simpsons episode extended to an hour and a half.
But the thing about it, right? So. Okay.
I kind of disagree with that. I feel like it's too non-episode-y to be considered.
Right. Well,
look, that's just my opinion. Like,
guys, let's.
No, but that's what we're here for. Like,
okay, so we got about like 15-20 minutes left.
Right. Well, let's.
We have not gotten to the plot. I'd just like to point that out. Not in any detail.
We got to Green Day.
Okay. Well, hold on. The reviews for this thing: 7.5 IMDb, 87 Rotten Tomatoes. 2 out of 5 Empire. So there's not really much consensus here when it comes to. I know. Okay, the audience rating is 4.6.
Out of 10 or 5?
Out of 5. Sorry.
Okay.
But it does range from 5 stars or 2 stars. It's very divided. So, all right, Keane, quickly run through the plot there, and because you're better than I am at it.
All right. Well, let's kind of take it act by act. So the first act, to condense it, I mean, you did a wonderful job condensing there, but like the first act sets up basically where the Simpsons are at. So we have Homer gets his pig
wink, wink.
During a Krusty Burger thing. Bart is sort of getting disenfranchised from the family, and he's starting to gravitate towards Flanders, which personally I like. I think Flanders is used incorrectly most of the time, but this is a good use of him. Lisa has a kind of a crush on an Irish guy who's moved into town. We can get into that, but I'm just going to lay the stakes in the ground.
So much.
Marge is concerned with the prophecy that
I also hate that
Homer, or not Homer, Grandpa Simpson has told them, and basically there's this big kind of, the lake is polluted and they have to get it unpolluted before bad things happen, and Lisa does her presentation of the thing. This is where we're at just before the dome stuff. So I just want to establish that before we run into the Alaskan hills and all that kind of stuff. What was the big reaction? I was almost sucked into my monitor by the Lisa's boyfriend thing. So
I think we are all under the consensus that Colin does not need to be in this movie and is awful to watch.
Yep. Good. Hate him. Let's move on.
I hate it so much.
It's offensive to watch from our perspective.
And it dates itself.
It's not,
and it dates itself horrifically. The reason why it dates itself so much is because it's playing on the whole once thing. It's an extended once reference.
Oh, is that?
That's what it is.
What it was for.
Yeah,
is that what that is?
That's what it is for once. Yeah.
It's okay if we watch it nowadays. We can try and found it in a Wild Mountain Time reference.
Oh my god, I would love, even in zombie era, I would love a Simpsons Wild Mountain Time.
Oh man,
but look, no, the most offensive thing he is just simply pointless.
Yeah,
anything he achieves, Lisa fully could have achieved herself.
Yeah, he serves no purpose. He's literally there just to give Lisa something to do. Also, the whole thing is a play on Al Gore's Inconvenience Truth, which has been, did not age well either. It's just wow, man. Like, this is the problem. If they had just went for something timeless, it would still be timeless, like The Simpsons. They should have done a monorail episode or something, or or something. Bring back the monorail.
I think they should have done that where Lyle Landley comes back. Or someone, because they had so many brilliant super villains in the past, other than Mr. Burns. Who knows? Or they could have done the death of someone big. Someone big.
If I may actually throw out a contentious opinion, I actually quite enjoyed. To be honest, I say it like I only watched it. I can't remember saying, but I actually quite enjoyed the A.A. Brooks. I actually quite enjoyed watching him. He just again that is mostly A.A. Brooks.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
because he's
think that
great, but
he had, like, I think, he wasn't, spectacular, but he had an unhinged energy that I just thought was fun.
that's just him, though. He always has that in everything.
I'm fine with that. I'm with Kev. Like, just give him bad lines of dialogue and let him be a big man at a TV in the sky. I mean, you don't really have time to. It's a villain trap thing, because if you develop him too much, it's at the expense of the Simpsons in the Simpsons film. So I think I like him for what he is in it. Yeah. I think it could have been better, but you could say that about anything.
I just think he was
your point
wasted.
Of, to bring back Hank Scorpio or Lyle Lanley, I think that would be doing them a disservice. I think that would taint the memory of them.
Ooh, that's an interesting take. Zombie
It's always a risk.
Listen, but the thing about it is, it's like they went for something, go big or go home. And they didn't go big enough. They went sideways.
Yeah.
I always felt that like the most interesting thing they could have done would have been trying to do something with Mr. Burns and Hank Scorpio, because then you're kind of taking like the local villain versus the national villain.
Because Hank could have tried to take over the power plant or something, or there could have been.
That actually brings me to one of my favorite lines in the film, when all the town guys are coming to Mr. Burns and he goes, at last, the rich white man is in charge.
Not going to Mr. Burns is a stray. Like he kind of is the de facto villain.
My favorite line of the whole thing actually comes at the end, like in the mid credits, where they're taking everything from Burns, and he's just like, I don't believe in suicide, but I think you should try it. I think you should try it, Smithers. It might be entertaining. And you're like, oh wow. And it's like, there's little nuggets throughout the whole thing. It's just that is like perfect Simpsons characterization. But the whole movie, because it's stretched out, loses characterization. Like Homer is a monster, an absolute monster. And you're like, wow, this is just the worst of jerk ass.
To be fair, I do think the film is kind of aware of it. It is 100%
child abuse at certain points. Yeah.
Like they ditch him for a reason, actually, because I want to circle back to something we talked about last week about what's the name of the actor who plays Marge? Is it Julie Kastner, is it? Or
Kavanagh.
Kavanagh.
Yeah. Hey, God, man, not poor. She gets paid $1 million an episode.
Well, poor as in her poor vocal cords.
Oh, absolutely.
But doing that
$1 million an episode, though, to be fair.
Her performance in the scene where she's made the videotape.
Oh, yeah.
Devastating.
Got to me. I wasn't ready for that. That actually really kind of tugged at my heartstrings a bit. And it made me forgive some of the jerk-ass Homer stuff from earlier, because that had been well earned by that point, Yeah,
I just thought she sounded off like a different actress or something.
But that's what got to me. Like
she sounded off, and actually, the more you listen to, the more you watch current Simpsons, the more off her voice gets, because you can tell it's punishing her to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said last week, try doing a Marge Simpson voice. It hurts.
I would not.
Homer.
Yeah, but look. Also, Edna Krabappel was in this, but they deleted her scenes.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw her in the Green Day crowd, but I didn't know she had a functional role beyond that.
No, there was actually some cool obscure references, like the guy from Try and Save, the security guard, randomly pops up. I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the guy who actually invented Itchy and Scratchy in the crowd. I was like, oh,
Roger Myers.
How random.
No, Lampwick.
Lampwick. Chester J. Lampwick.
Yeah.
When the dome comes down, Gabbo's mouth falls off.
Yeah.
There you go. They should have done Gabbo.
Actually,
Everyone's talking about Gabbo this and Gabbo that, when he should be talking about worship this and Jericho that.
But
look,
this is
Smithers
what I mean,
Garbo is coming.
If you root it in very niche, we 30 years on from The Simpsons, we understand The Simpsons every single aspect of those first 10 years. If you rooted it in something incredibly specific, you could alienate a less dedicated audience right out of the gate.
But here's the thing:
I mean?
if you try to please everybody, you're not going to please anybody, and that's what happened here. They played it so
fair, yeah.
They played it so safe. It's like, we said this before with certain things where it's like, it's the same thing that happened with the Star Wars sequels. Not to go into it, but when you play it so safe, nothing happens and has no consequence, and nobody talks about the Force, the terrible, the worst one. The only one that people talk about are The Last Jedi, which made those changes and pissed off.
It wasn't safe. The Last Jedi.
No, it wasn't.
We won't get into it, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
It was great for it, and I think if they had it on this, we would have more talking points about the Simpsons movie. Going, you know what? Probably we might have hated it, or we could have loved it, but at least it would have achieved something. It would have been like, right, well, it took this risk, it killed off that character, or did this mad thing. I think that's the biggest tragedy on this. Like, Lisa is right. Lisa's approach on this is 100% correct. She's right. But the problem about it is when you're watching it, you're like, this is the best episode of The Simpsons of the time, but it should have been a half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's a strange one because it like with these kind of TV movies.
This wasn't
as I was saying earlier.
This was like a full movie.
It was a full budget movie, but it kind of feels like a TV movie to a point, though. And it feels like it feels like it, like with Futurama and like with Family Guy, like it feels like this could have been one of several kind of extended things. So it feels strange that it's a singular event.
You can almost feel the episode breaks in it.
Yeah.
Even to the point where they throw in a to be continued.
I actually do remember people groaning and laughing in the cinema when that came up. That got a big reaction when I saw it in the cinema.
I really liked where they did like the advertisements for TV shows underneath it, and they're like, yes, we advertise even in movies. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice little touches in this one. It's got that stank of zombie Simpson coming off it, but you can feel like a real effort went into this one, which is the real, which is the crime of season 20 onwards, where everything gets stretched out to infinity. You know.
I don't think like I don't think we're saying that like it's a lazily put together film. There's definitely
it's not lazy. It's safe.
Again, like it definitely has intention behind it, but it's safe. It's not daring enough. You know, like, but again,
actually, on that point, I was caught off guard by how dark it was in some points. Like they make nooses for the Simpsons.
That was and for one from Maggie,
and actually that makes me wonder.
Dark.
Bad taste rather than dark.
Yeah.
It's in bad taste, certainly, but like you can't say they're playing it safe. Do you know what I mean?
No, they're trying to be shocking for the sake of it.
Like with Bart's Mickey Mouse showing through the window and the little fried
I thought you meant
covering
his Mickey Mouse hat. I'm with you.
No, I meant his penis. I meant his penis.
Yeah,
like that was a bit, and Homer giving the finger.
They got like a 12.
Easily,
they got a 12 PG rating, and we're just going to try, like, not very well, but we're going to push this boundary as far as we can.
Yeah. So, and the time we have left, with a sequel coming,
we did not get into the plot, and we never will, sadly.
No, well, we will.
I think we did. I think we covered it.
We did. You're right. Actually, we covered it back to front. Yeah.
In the time we have left for the radio, anyway, do we want a sequel? And if so, if
you'd asked me in 2009, sure. Now, no.
Okay. Kev, Lisa.
Again, I think making it a big film spectacular is a poor choice. I think they should be going TV specials. I think it like maybe a little
Disney
lower
Plus
budget.
Special.
Disney Plus special. Like that's probably
those Maggie things
have
are
they been
quite
doing
cute.
that? The Maggie ones are just episode lengths, aren't they?
They're 2 minutes long, 2 to 10 minutes.
Oh, they're shorts. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're shorts for their dialogue,
good,
and can I say it helps?
I haven't watched any of them yet. I might give them a shout. But like I think making it a spectacle was probably the worst thing they could have done. I think if it was like even if it was slightly lower budget and just kind of just less focused on, I think like it just having less hype behind it probably would have actually helped it favor.
Okay.
Because
like in
making
terms
it
of aging or like
just in like kind of making it a spectacle gives you a certain amount of expectation that I don't think it was ever really going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's it. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
there was no temper and expectation here. You know, Lisa, do you want one?
Yeah, no, you see, I second what Cian said in 2009. Sure. Now, no, especially considering that they're changing all the voice actors for future episodes, considering all the controversy.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they would. Why do they feel like what's their message behind a sequel for the sake of a sequel, especially in this climate and this time? I just think it's a.
Now,
I don't.
The money.
There's money, but then there's
you're also considering it as a sequel to the movie and not just another Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna
be
a sequel to like the Simpsons movie. I think it's just here's the Simpsons on another movie scale.
No.
Shindig.
So it's going to turn into like the Ernest movies where it's like Ernest goes to the beach. Ernest. Do you know?
Too many grandmas.
Yeah.
Listen,
on us.
you know, if they did something with it where it's like the Simpsons, like as I said, the travel episodes they could do, but then again, you bring up a good point, Lisa. You go to the wrong place, make the wrong reference, and people are trying to cancel you. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what could happen. So a lot of the Simpsons humor, like look at the Australia episode, for example. That probably wouldn't fly nowadays.
I've argued him down to a building.
To be fair, most of the visits to other countries, including our own wonderful home, would not fly today.
No.
Absolutely.
I'm still profoundly angry.
Hey, Simpsons, here's a tip for you between you and me. Hire some sensitivity writers.
Or just don't try.
Or be funny.
Yeah.
Or be funny. You know, make a joke that
radical and write this down.
Yeah. But listen, you know, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll be sitting here talking about the terrible sequel or the surprising sequel. Well, it'll probably be terrible.
That would be nice. Can I just actually ask, are we evaluating this Simpsons film in terms of like critically or in terms of commercially? And
personally.
Well, what do you think was their intent when they released this? Do you think they were like really trying to give the Simpsons brand a shot in the arm, or was it just a cash grab?
I think it was a cash grab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on that metric, it did succeed. You know,
it's too of its time.
Right.
No, as I said, all of this stuff, it just roots itself smack bang in 2006, 2007.
Yeah. Like who knows about Under the Dome now? It wasn't even a long-standing Stephen King reference.
Who knows about the reference to An Inconvenient Truth?
No one.
Who knows about
everyone's
the
buried
political career of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Who's ever heard of Billy Armstrong?
To be fair, Tom Hanks is still around.
Yeah, well, you know, it's, you know, look. This could have been so much more by referencing it so much and couching it there. You know, if it had been a couple of years later, they would have had Lady Gaga come out, you know, and it would have been that episode. So it is what it is. I have noted, you know, and I think a Disney Plus special would be, you know, we've talked many times here about the all grown up Simpsons episodes. That'd be fun, you know, series on that. But it is what it is, and it's going to keep making money. So the only way we can stop this is when it comes out.
Are we stopping this?
No, well, we're stopping the sequel. Don't go see it.
Go to planting your flag on the ground, are you?
Well, I'm going to see it anyway. I'm just not going to, you know, theoretically
see it 3 more times
today.
Today. Absolutely. Also, comic book guy gets no love in this either as well.
No.
To be fair, he has 2 scenes, which
even though comic book guy
is not bad.
Even though
2 minutes left.
Oh, thank you, timekeeper.
Okay, anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. So again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get the rest of the show or all other shows, go over to Nerd to Know Media, nerdtoknowmedia@gmail.com, nerdtoknowmedia on .com in general, Nerd to Know Media on YouTube. We're not hard to find. Guys, it's only going to plug before we get out of here. Bryn.
I don't have anything to plug as usual.
Keen.
Yeah, not a plug, but I just want to give a shout out to, I did some workshop with the students in St. Raphael's yesterday. We had a fantastic time. We made a story about a duck who wants to be a footballer who has no legs. So if any of them are listening, I just wanted to say thank you and hope I get to work with you guys again.
Kev?
You can find me DMing my Greek mythology themed D&D campaign over typically on twitch.tv/ConnorRain, but we're taking a short campaign break because I need to write a campaign. But you can
may I suggest a duck with no legs who wants to be a footballer?
I have more.
Noted. But you can find all of the campaign, all the Twitch streams up until now on their YouTube channel. youtube.com/ConnorRain, ConnorRayne. I have traumatized them last week with an underground cannibal campus. So that's been,
well, I mean, duh, you got it.
Did they all have legs?
For now.
That's an amputee fetish.
Lisa.
Okay, so you can read all the Straight Outta Canto blogs on blogger.com/Straight Outta Canto. All existing, current, pre-existing Straight Outta Canto podcast radio show episodes are up on the Nerd to Know Media podcast platforms. And there is, of course, I also write for the UREI. That's YUREI. I have a new album out, spoken word, out under the voice of Harvey Destivilo. Nom de plume, and of course, shout out to Ash Irie, the All Ireland Metal Project.
Hey.
Awesome. And guys, again, if you like what we do, we're up to doing more reviews like this as well, where we actually focus on a topic. So let us know what you think in the comments below.
Give us a focus.
Absolutely, so we don't have to dig into the buckets.
We got so much done tonight. We were so streamlined.
We were.
It's amazing.
So let us know, nerdtoknowmedia@gmail.com, or find us on social media and let us know what you want to talk about, what you want to cover. We're more than happy to do this. Guys, this was super fun. Thank you all so very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone at home, for listening.
Bye,
we made
guys.
sense, mate, mostly.
We did. I'll see you next week, guys. Here on Phoenix 2.5 FM. Check out the Wrestling Rewind here on Phoenix 92.5 FM every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course, over on nerdtoknowmedia.com, the only wrestling podcast by wrestling fans who don't hate wrestling. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.